Do not be fooled, ladies and gentlemen. We are back for the challenge series. We are not yet technically in season 3. We are actually about a day before that. The challenge series next, as it's being called, CS Next event is taking place today. Doubleheader at Fuji because of freaking course it's Fuji, but the only place that would ever let us show up on December 31st. Now, surprisingly warm weather for December 1st. Basically, going into Season 3, there are quite a few new drivers and even more new cars for drivers new and old. So we figured, before we actually kicked off the season proper, let's actually give some of those new drivers and cars a chance to shine on their own, without the, without the possible issues of, having to stack up against the very best that have been, running already. I mean, some of these drivers don't really need to prove themselves, and of course there are those who are, trying out new cars. Trying out, that doesn't make any sense. Trying out new cars, like myself. But yeah, with no further delays, we're heading to the first of the 2 races planned for this evening. Evening? Record, it's like noon. What? Well, it's evening in real life. Alright, so here we are on the starting grid of the first of the 2 races. As you can see, there are definitely a lot of new vehicles. I mean, the whole grid is just comprised of new vehicles. Cars that have yet to make a single start in the challenge series. We'll start from pole, starting with Tony Berry. If I can get the camera to work with me. There we go. Tony Berry, one of the Scorchers' many new representatives. The Scorchers lost David Danvers, but gained like 5 people, I kid you not. Danvers suggested Rip Thompson to Taro. He's joined the team. And then he basically got his other previous associates, Burt Wheeler, Torque Maddox, and Nello Pissarro, to also hop aboard. So the Scorchers went from 2 drivers to, as I said, 5. But now, Tony Berry makes 6 in her, yeah, it's a girl, it's Toni Berry, in her 1994 Toyota Celica. I heard the term World Race thrown around a few times. I know that's what Burt competed in, as well as Taro, so they must just know her from there. Next along the list, James Stillwell, not a new driver, but he has a brand new, kind of pretty nice looking ride, what do they call this? Hang on. Skyline 2000 GTR. I usually call it a Bluebird, because that's what it was called when it was a Datsun, I think. Yeah, it's got a bit of Advan theming going on. Then we have the return of a Challenge Series classic, Ambrosio Reyes. He took a year off to run in Formula Drift, and now that the championship is over, it didn't go amazing, but it didn't go terribly. I understand he got about 4th overall. Those damn chasers, he said. He literally got beat by 2 chasers in a BMW. I don't remember what model it was. Yeah, he's brought along a modified version of his Formula Drift Viper. And here's me with my first of 2 new vehicles, but one is a dirt spec car, so it cannot debut. Yes, I finally joined the dirt division, so now I have a car in every category. But I do have this Acura NSX, which is the 675 car, replacing the GTO that got trashed. Then we have the first of 4 representatives for a brand new team, the Lions Pride. It's a weird name, I'm gonna be honest. But anyway, the first of a team of 2 D1GP champions, Konata Izumi in this BRZ, and Kagami Hiragi in a very similar GT86. Although they're here now because they were competing in D1GP earlier this year, but then they kind of maybe sort of destroyed their Sylvia, so, you know, kind of hard to drift with no car. Burt Wheeler is debuting a brand new F-150. And apparently this is also borrowed from World Race. There's a story behind this, but I didn't really pry. Mao Zhongling, which I can't help but think of a cat when I say that name. Chinese honorifics, so Zhongling is the first name, I believe. Just like Zhou Jingwei. And Qin Yulan. That's an S15 and Panda Express. Noir has a new 675 class car after her own NSX got trashed. Now she has a TVR Tuscan. Nico Yazawa has a GR86, not a GT86. There's a difference. Sungjin Kyung is here in a Genesis G70. Again, Sungjin is their first name. So you got two new Chinese drivers. There is the owner of Lions Pride, and that name might look familiar. Yep, Cameron Walker has returned at the, that was Nidori's doing, actually, believe it or not. Kyoko Sugimoto with a very, very flamboyant looking S15. Kira Kishibe with a 300ZX. Fernando Fidanzi with a brand new Maserati MC20. How did Scuderia get the money for that? There's Konata. Diedrich Hammer. Technically he's been in the Challenge Series before, but that was before it was sort of like a unified thing as like Challenge Series 22. Back when it was on Assetto Corsa, basically. The fourth and final driver of the Lions Pride, Jessica Watkins, with a equally flamboyant Volkswagen Scirocco. Logan Cool appears in a first-generation Corvette that he won from some sort of recruitment race. He didn't really want to give details, and I wasn't about to pry. Francisco Fidanzi with not really a new, just an Alfa Romeo 4C. And finally, Charlotte Riel appears with a Roof CTR3. But with all that out of the way, let's finally begin the race. We have begun the race. Begin the race. Begin the race. Ambrosia Reyes, perhaps unsurprisingly, immediately storms off with the race lead. This is given with roulette race rules, so yeah, 10-minute race, and just basically whatever car you're in, you're running. I do believe Reyes and Riel are the only 750 class cars in the race. Most of this race, and most of the second race, as we'll find out later, are just a lot of 640 class. Like, I'm not, like, no kidding, there's a lot of it. For example, all of the Lions Pride drivers are running in 640 class cars. Oh, Burt Wheeler is doing some blocking in this big F-150, gets into Riel a bit. Is that a Porsche thing? I mean, it's a roof, but it still has the same basic handling characteristics as a Porsche will. Absolute clusterfuck in the mid-pack. The classes should probably spread themselves apart as expected in due time, and we'll kind of cover the individual classes of each individual car when that happens, individually. The Department of Redundancy department is in full effect just there. Lap 1 down, and Reyes has a pretty healthy lead, courtesy of Burt Wheeler's defensive driving. being essentially a modified drift car, the Viper is going to have a hell of a lot of power. It might struggle in turns though in comparison to a Roof. Maybe not. Maybe they're both struggling in turns, because Riel almost just slides off the racetrack just there. Fernando Fidonzi's car is a 715 class, as is Hammer's AMG GTS. But you can see this entire row of cars here, from Tony Berry all the way back to Francisco Fidonzi, is all 640. That's 7 cars, and that's not even all of them in that class in the race. Kira Kishibe is going to add herself to that train. She's in a 640 class car as well. Izumi is also in one, and so is Jessica Watkins. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cars in that class out of 20 that started the race. Hammer's just gonna blow ahead, just fly by me. I'm in a 675 class car, so not very much I can do there. And even if there was something I could do, I probably wouldn't. Fernando Fidonzi makes his way into 3rd place. The leader of 2 cars in his class, only he and Dietrich Hammer are in that class. Also, I forgot, yeah, Bert Wheeler's truck is also 640. It's just doing really well, so you wouldn't think it, but that is the same class as Cameron Walker's Audi TT. It just kind of helps it started near the front and had 4-wheel drive. Cam's also had 4-wheel drive, but obviously it started not in the front. It's even kind of giving Hammer a bit of a difficult time here. Oh, I would say Riel is definitely caught up to Reyes. I'd be looking at a battle for the lead through the complex of low-speed turns. Riel got the better exit and slipstream, but the Viper has like a lot of horsepower, so we might be at about a dead heat here as we head across the start-finish line to end lap 3. Riel did have the advantage. She pulled alongside, try and make the pass stick. Oh, they make some contact, and Riel's been moved up a lane. Reyes kind of uses the bumper a tiny bit, and he'll get back into the lead with that maneuver. I don't think Riel liked, well, Riel just kind of gave it back, honestly. It wasn't really a dramatic retaliation. She got bumped, she gave a bump. You know, that's just kind of how it goes. Hammer is working on passing the last of the 675 class cars in the form of Noir, but he's not working super hard on it. There he goes. Yeah, Noir is leading her class, and I'm the only other person in that class, so yeah, 2 cars in 750, 2 cars in 713, 2 cars in 675, 3 in the 600 class, and those are just going to be the bottom 3 in the running order, pretty much. Yeah. Watkins is kind of looking like one, but I assure you, she's not. She is in a 640 class car. And all of these cars are all 640. And then Bert Wheeler's, so 11 640 class cars on display here. Oh, Reyes gonna send it down the inside. Gives Riel another shove. I don't remember him being this aggressive. What the fuck happened in Formula Drift that he just suddenly gained a mean streak? Like, you don't have to prove yourself that much, Reyes. You've been here before, and you were a good driver then. I don't understand why you are acting like you got a chip on your shoulder. And I'm sure Riel is gonna give it right back to him if and when she gets there, and it's... I don't know, it seems like she probably will. Oh, she's there. Let's see where this goes. Yeah, she's giving the horn. She's showing her displeasure, but she hasn't really done much yet. And the Viper's gonna kind of run away for the first bit here, but now Slipstream's gonna kick in. 200, probably about 215 up to the braking zone. Uh-oh. That's a big whiff right there from Reyes. I think the pressure got to him. Yeah, that's probably, I think Riel did the Super GT thing, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, she was flashing her lights at him. And that apparently just got mental mind, wow. Yeah, she just mind games Reyes off the track. He probably thought he was about to get slammed into, and that just kind of psyched him out. Well, that was an anticlimax if I ever saw one right there. It's kind of funny after all of that. Reyes, you know, put the bumper to her twice, and then crunch time came around and forgot where to brake. Now we're kind of looking at the race timer here. I don't think... Yeah, the race is... Words me. This is not the final lap, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. If my brain would function properly. Charlotte's kind of doing a bit of stakes of her own there. Almost went right off the racetrack. Yeah. Gotta get the engine up to temperature or something. I don't know. This will be the final lap, but only for the lead too, as time is now expired. So with Fernando Fidanzu across the line in a few moments, I think Riel was expecting to get dove into again. She missed the first turn. Can Reyes capitalize? It looks like he just might. Now he's not going to be able to. Fernando Fidanzi will win the 715 class. Noir wins the 675 class. And Bert Wheeler wins the 640 class, and actually beats me, which was kind of embarrassing. I guess I do have the alibi of I just recovered from being sidelined for a month and a half. So, you know, that's how that goes. That was the last true passing opportunity for Ambrosio Reyes there. I think this is kind of sealed for Riel. She can keep that manic machine on the tarmac. That's kind of a big if, apparently. In spite of essentially just being a jacked up Porsche, it seems to have more understeer than anything, which is sort of uncharacteristic. Nico won't really be in the way. She'll give a lane for the 2 leaders to pass. but it will not be in time. Charlotte Riel will win the first of the 2 rounds here at Fuji. Reyes just in behind, and Nico Curley has some work to do on that GR86. Also, the winner of the 600 class was Logan in his first gen vet. So, yeah, there's that. Bert definitely won the toughest race, but I think he just had the big advantage of starting on, like, not pole, I think he started 3rd. Well, a lot of the other 640 class cars didn't start anywhere near there, so he kind of had that advantage. But nonetheless, that will do it for the first of the 2 rounds. On to the second. If you thought the last doubleheader was kind of weird, the first part of the doubleheader was kind of odd with the class division. There are no 675 class cars here, which is funny since that is definitely the biggest class in the series, so don't really get used to that. Nearly 100 full-time participants in the 675 category. So yeah, it's kind of big. The second doubleheader round is here. Less cars this time, only 18. Some people do have other cars, as I mentioned. I think, you know, like, I'm not the only person that has brought a new dirt spec car. There's about 2 or 3 others, but this is not a dirt race, so you can't do that. What is here, though, starting on pole, Nico Yazawa also brings an MR2 to the table. However, this is definitely no ordinary MR2. It is engine swapped with the engine of an Audi R8. Jesus Christ. So this is kind of like some Umi-Nico hybrid machine right here that Nico's driving, because it's got Umi's branding, Valvoline sponsorship, also my own, we'll get to that later, as well as an Audi engine inside the car, but it is still very much a Toyota. Clearly, Haneo's engineering and mechanic skills are really coming into their own, and she's able to figure how to do that out. Raven Katsuragi with a more, you know, tame S2000 than her GT1 spec thing that she normally runs. Yukiko Takuchi with a Suzuki Swift. Not exactly a K car, but K cars aren't really fast enough to compete in the Challenge Series. Excuse me. Kunimitsu Miura, one of the debuting drivers here. He brings a Mazda 6, or Mazda Tenza, rather. Basically just a... You know, he used to be a street racer. An expressway racer, rather. To be more concise. However, or more precise, I'm the opposite of concise, let's face that. But then he got tied down, got married, and now he's kind of got a need for speed. He's hitting a midlife crisis. So, yeah, that'll be fun. Cameron Walker also brings his traditional Audi R8 to the table. Much different design from the last time. And then we get to the first of 4 new drivers. Okay, I'm shutting that window. Thank you, very cool. Anyway, the first of the 4 drivers from the new team Demon Sports that has been founded by Logan Cool. Thea Angelos, Lily Rose, Katie Rose, and Buck Angelos are the 4 drivers on this team. Buck with the Hellcat, Katie Rose with a C8 Corvette, Lily Rose with a Tesla, the first of its kind, in fact, and Thea with a Focus RS. Skylar Elara and Selena Laron. Very French name for somebody from America. An alphabet soup couple, I believe. Remember, right? It's Thrasher told me Skylar is a lesbian and Selena is NB, or might be the other way around. Probably correct me. Or they might, I don't know. Or Twitter will. I'll probably get canceled if I got that wrong. JSR has had a pretty big development. Probably saw their other vehicles as I flipped through the starting grid to find the other Demon Sports drivers. But as of about a couple weeks ago, they now have Toyota factory backing on many of their machines, and this comes with new machines. Mostly in the form of 3 2020 Toyota Supras. Fidel Fabian, Jake Scarborough, and new driver Matthew Stotts representing those models. Sarah O'Donnell in a Honda Integra, girlfriend of Joseph Miller, who has also recently just modified his own Integra to run in the same category as O'Donnell's Integra does. Also Catgirl, or Catgirls. Kyle Hansen, the Subaru driver of all time. Myself in the same S14 that I've always had in the 600 class, but now it's got a completely different design going on. And I'm just kind of a field filler, honestly. And finally, the last new driver on the field is Farah Fidanzi. I get that screwed up all the time. Thanks, Overwatch. Farah Fidanzi, wife of Francisco, and mother of Francesca and Fernando, and I think Fiona. But let us now, with all the introductions complete, let us begin. And I expect to see that Lamborghini. Yep, there it is. That's a 750 class car right there. That is maxed out, and it is just pulled away off the start. Already up into third. And we've only made one turn. Four-wheel drive advantages at its absolute finest right there. The 640 class is definitely in force again, but it's not quite as much as it was before. Instead, this time, the biggest selection of vehicles is in the 715 category, I believe. All 3 of the JSR Supras are in that class, as are the Hellcat and C8 Corvette that are driven by the Demon Sports drivers. Also, Cameron's Audi is also 715. It's still only 2 top class cars. Farah Fidanzi, and Nico's MR2. So 6 cars in the 715 category. This S2000 and this Focus are 640. We are 4 wide as we head down the front straightaway. They have been split by both Buck and Jake. Laron and Lara's S chassis cars are both 640. Kunimitsu, Yukiko, and Kyle Hansen are all in 600 class cars, as is myself, Andely Rose, and Sarah Dunn. So really, it's actually the 600 class and the 715 class that are the biggest figures here. Those make up 14 of the 18 competing vehicles. And then we just have... That doesn't make any sense. What? Okay, I don't know. The math will work itself out when the cars are all in their proper orders. Meanwhile, Farah Fidanzi is going right down the inside of Nico in the MR2. Nico will fight this one back. And she will retake the lead, but that's going to definitely hurt her corner exit. Whereas the Lamborghini was unaffected by that, and will just scream back ahead into the race lead. Seriously, where did the Scuderia Ferrari just suddenly get all this money? They got an MC20 and an Aventador. Actually, never mind. I think they won the Lamborghini. Whoa! A little wide there from the Aventador. Big save to hang on to it, not wreck the new car. Yeah, I think they won the Aventador, if I remember what Thrasher told me correctly, but they did not win Fernando's MC20, so I don't know where they got that. Obviously, Valvoline is on this MR2, because Valvoline have kind of been like the big group when it comes to basically just spoiling Mercury Racing as of late. Pretty much every car that they've been able to payroll or bankroll as of late has been due to the amount of money that Valvoline is pouring into Mercury. And it is just absolutely insane how much they have done that. All because what? They were only on one of their cars to begin with. It was only on Umi's Audi. Now they're on well, all of my cars and Nico's new MR2. The 3 JSR cars in a row, surrounded by 2 Demon Sports cars. Angelos is leading the 640 class by a pretty hefty margin over Raven. Yeah, so 6 cars in the bottom class, only 4 in the 640s. Fidel's been overtaken by the Corvette of Katie Rose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 15 class cars. And then Farah and Nico. And nothing in the 675 category at all. Also, Jake got ahead of his teammate. He got ahead of Matthew Stotts. They may both be under threat from this Corvette, though. That is some crazy corner speed from that thing right there. Farah is still maintaining something of a lead. It looks like a small gap right now, but that's just because of the way that Nico takes that turn for some reason. I told her about 100 times to arc it in late, but she does not. She just won't. I don't get it. Why does she just assume I don't know what I'm talking about? I know this shit, especially at Fuji. Like, at this point, I practically frickin' live here. Like, I think I know how to take the corners here by now. Yeah, Katie Rose just set the fastest lap of the race, and that's in comparison to 2 cars in a higher class. She is absolutely moving right now, and the JSR trio... Well, I mean, Fidel's already been overtaken, but Matthew Stotts is going to have to be very wary of that. She actually gives him a bit of a bump there. It should be mentioned that Matthew Stotts comes from ARC. That's how Jake and Fidel know him. That's how I know Jake and Fidel, for that matter. And Logan also is from there, and JSR does not like Logan. So I can't imagine that they really like Demon Sports too much either. And that's just if you set aside the fact that they have a very edgy name that kind of sort of confers, oh, Demon Sports. They are literally like demons. You think I'm kidding? No, Logan says they're from hell. He just summoned them, and I don't. Why do demons know how to drive? Like, how have we not covered this? Like, I guess I shouldn't be that really that confused. How does a Kappa know how to drive? How does a what is Fugaku again? Sakumo Gami? So, checks notes. A sentient umbrella know how to drive. So really, I shouldn't even be asking the questions. That's pointless. What's the camera doing? What the heck? Katie Rose is once again faster than the leaders on that lap. It won't matter, she's too far away to catch the lead too. But she's already overtaken Matthew Stotts, and she's about to basically make a sandwich attack on Jake Scarborough with her, I believe, half-brother. I believe they're related. Not only does the demon know how to drive, but he also knows how to drive a Hellcat, which is like one of the most temperamental shitboxes I've ever seen grace a racing circuit. Fidanzi has opened up the lead a fair bit as we begin what will be the final lap for at least the top two cars. I don't know about everybody else. I think the JSR crew, except for maybe not Fidel, but the top 7 will probably be getting one more lap here, and then everybody else will be done so. The demons know how to slipstream! I suppose Logan may have taught them that. Matthew Stotts will not get another lap. Katie Rose will go down the inside of the Supra to try and get a 2-3 for her team in the category, and she will sneak ahead of the Supra. Can she get her brother for good measure? Yeah, the race is over for some of the fields, so Demon Sport has already won in one category, as Thea Angelos will head across the start-finish line to claim the 640 class victory. Not a whole lot over Celine Laurent, who had a bit of a comeback in the latter part of that race to overtake Raven. And Lily Rose will lead the 6-car 600 class in her Tesla Model S. Ugh, I hate Teslas. That's why. She will cross to win the 600 class, so Demon Sport's looking pretty strong, I would say. Cameron Walker will seemingly win the 715 class. And here comes Farah Fidanzi from the last turn to head across the start-finish line and win the 2-car class. Beat Nico in a 1v1, basically. And let's see, will Katie Rose get ahead of the Hellcat in time? That is a no. Perfect timing. Everybody got a chance to finish, even Jake, who was the last car to cross before the timer expired. But yes, that has been the Challenge Series next doubleheader. A bit of a look into some of the new cars we can look forward to, and new drivers that we can expect to see as we head into Season 3. Bars. But until that begins, goodbye.